Welcome back, gamers, to another episode of the Slow Run Cast. I am your host, the Iraqi Balboa, joined by my friend and co-host, Derwin Luke, or as I prefer to call him, Derwinator.
What's up? What's up?
Pretty standard start today. I didn't even have
Yeah,
a twist or anything.
yeah, dude, this is our saddest episode yet.
I think so. It might. I feel like it's all been sad episodes mostly. I had a
No,
thought.
there's been some happy ones.
Listen. I had a thought. I had a
Yeah.
sick, twisted, demented thought. I was really excited to record this episode with you.
Yeah.
And then I realized I was like, oh, dude, I like the bad episodes. I like the bad news.
What do you like the bad news?
I like the bad news. I'm like, oh shit, am I the villain? So I think this is like my villain arc, bro. I'm the villain.
Your Witcher
I just thought
arc?
about it. I was like, so when I was doing this show notes, I was like, oh, dude, I'm so excited to talk to Derwin about all this. I'm like, why am I was like, oh, dude, I'm, you know.
Until From Software gets canceled next.
Well, then wow, okay, let's not get ahead. Because there was one game when this news dropped, I was really scared for.
Yeah.
So we'll get right into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is what it is. This is the big news story for this week. It overshadows everything. We alluded to it last week because Jason Schreier had reported on Bloomberg about this potentially happening or coming soon. And we got the official news this week. Microsoft has laid off approximately 9,100 employees, which adds up to 4% of its company workforce. The layoffs seem to heavily have affected the Xbox division, the gaming division, heavily. We could go through everything first, and then I could get your thoughts, or do you want to compartmentalize it one by one? Because there's a lot of stuff to go through here. I could do top level, go through everything.
Yeah, I think we should do that. We'll go through everything that happened, and then we can give our thoughts.
So, I mean, yeah, the big ones for sure are the Perfect Dark reboot has been canceled, and the Initiative, which was the studio working on this, has shut down, and the Crystal Dynamics partnership has ended. For those who don't recall, Perfect Dark was, I believe, announced in 2021 through like a teaser cut thing and like a teaser trailer on one of their showcases. It is a reboot from a rare game back in the day. I believe it might have been, was it an original Xbox game?
N64.
Was it an N64 game?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Pitch Dark is an N64 game.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is a reboot by a studio which Xbox founded in 2018 called the Initiative. The Initiative was headed by a guy, what was his name? Gallagher. Anyway, it was like a studio, Frankenstein studio of a lot of like top heads and leads from BioWare, Naughty Dog, Respawn, Tony Santa Monica, Blizzard, Insomniac. Like there was some good rep behind this studio. Daryl Gallagher, he was the head of it. And they were working on this Perfect Dark reboot. 2021, we saw a clip. 2023, we heard some bad news about the game. We heard that it was not going as scheduled or as planned and was in development hell. But then later on in 2024, Xbox kind of turned the message around it and showed us the vertical slice clip of gameplay in their Xbox showcase of 2024. So it kind of reassured everyone that actually maybe they've steered the ship correctly. A lot of people had left the studio at that point, but the Crystal Dynamics partnership, who I believe Daryl Gallagher was ex-Crystal Dynamics, kind of was supposedly steering the ship back in the right direction. It looks like maybe, we don't know exactly, maybe it was being steered in the right direction, but they had to do this anyway. Or maybe it was just kind of, they were bluffing, but the game is canceled now and the studio is gone. And that's not it, folks. This is pretty wild. There's more here. Rare also faced a round of layoffs, and their game Everwild has been canceled as well. Everwild was more in development hell. We can infer it was in development hell just because It's apparently been in development since 2014. We first saw like the teaser of it in 2019. We don't really know what it was. 2021 apparently was internally rebooted, but we haven't seen anything of it since. There's always been questions about what is this game that Rare is working on. Well, it doesn't matter now because it is gone. And actually, following Microsoft's round of layoffs to Rare specifically, Greg Mayles, who was the studio head and the director of Banjo-Kazooie back in the day and Sea of Thieves, has decided to call it quits. So he quit after this round of layoffs. And that's 35 years with Rare. So that is another studio that was.
Did he say he was leaving the gaming industry in general too, or
I did not read that. I could kind of, let's pull it out of article here and see if he said anything of that sort.
Yeah, I
no,
thought
it doesn't. It
I
doesn't.
thought
Look
I'd
like
read somewhere, but maybe not.
I
Yeah,
think
but
you're
like 30 years.
35 years.
Or-
He's been with. He's their oldest employee. He worked on Banjo Kazooie, obviously Sea of Thieves, and bunch of other Rare projects from back in the day. Viva Pinata, Donkey Kong Country, Banjo Kazooie and Tooie, of course, and all that kind of good stuff from Rare's heyday. GoldenEye 007. So yeah, crazy. I guess that was like he didn't like what was happening to his studio, so he decided to, you know. And we got something similar from ZeniMax Online, whose studio head also quit after his studio faced a round of layoffs, and their new unnamed, I believe it was like either a looter shooter or an MMORPG, codenamed Blackbird, has been canceled as well, canned, and all that staff that was working on it was laid off. This was a game that Phil Spencer apparently played and said he loved, and he thought it was really looking good. And a bunch of other internal kind of execs said it was looking really good, but it looks like it wasn't good enough. It's gone too, and yeah, the ZeniMax Online studio, Matt Fryer, is leaving the company as a result. Turn 10, the developer of Forza Motorsport, has experienced layoffs totaling half the studio's staff by 50. They've been cut by 50%. And this hasn't been confirmed through this second piece of news that I'm going to say. It has been confirmed that 50% are gone. But a ex Forza Motors or Turn 10 employee has claimed online that Forza Motorsport is no more. This hasn't been officially confirmed by Xbox or any of the official avenues that was kind of dropping this news. So we don't know for sure, but that also doesn't bode very well. Bethesda Games has apparently canceled funding to several unannounced projects at multiple studios. We don't know what these projects are. John Romero, who I wasn't aware, but apparently is the Doom creator, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't know this. I was just reading in an article. But him and his brother have like an independent studio based out of Ireland, and we weren't aware of this, but apparently their game was being funded by Microsoft. So they're not a first party Microsoft or Xbox Game Studios studio. They were just getting money from Xbox Games Publishing. That deal has been cut. They lost all of their funding. Apparently, first the news was they're looking for something new to keep the game going, but then now they're saying the studio's effectively completely closed. We don't know for sure. We know they've lost the funding, but we don't know if the studio's closed. That was some word on the internet. Multiple Call of Duty studios have been hit by Xbox layoffs as well, specifically the support studios like Raven and Sledgehammer, not so much Treyarch or Infinity Ward. High Moon Studios, which I don't think is a first-party Xbox studio, but they do support for Call of Duty. Also have been affected by layoffs. Candy Crush, apparently, this is kind of what started it all. The developers of Candy Crush have lost 200 employees. That was kind of what kicked off everything. And yeah, it's crazy stuff. There were rumors going around that Phil Spencer is allegedly going to retire after this next gen console after the next gen console launch, to which Xbox insisted that he wasn't anytime soon. We don't know what we could believe there or not, but yeah, I mean, it is crazy stuff. I don't think me and you, when we were talking, ever predicted it was going to be this big.
Yeah, it was like a huge news.
Yeah. I mean, like, we don't even know, the thing is, we don't even know the full extent of it. Like, we don't know what else is going on, or what else, like, we don't have a full idea going into the weekend of exactly what it's going to be moving forward for Rare, for ZeniMax Online. Obviously, the initiative is gone now, and that Crystal Dynamics deal is cut, but apparently Blizzard had to let go some developers that were behind its mobile title, Warcraft Rumble. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with Forza Motorsport. This talk about, it being kind of killed now.
Yeah,
What's going to happen
to lose
studio?
half your studio, right?
It's insane. Yeah. 4% of the company, 10% of the King company that's working on Candy Crush. It is crazy. It is crazy, man. I mean, we also got some word that from Xbox, they said everything that we saw at the last Xbox Games Showcase, which just happened about a month ago, is safe. That sounds reassuring, but if you really want to take a look at what we actually saw there for first party, it's not very reassuring. Actually, I don't know if you could maybe. I'm gonna try to open this up. Xbox Games Showcase.
Just to name the ones that are safe.
Yeah. We saw Outer Worlds 2, which I think we all assumed, since it had a release date coming out this fall. We didn't think Obsidian was going to go anywhere, or this game was going to cancel. Call of Duty Black Ops 7, I don't think anybody thought that wasn't going to happen. Ninja Gaiden 4, which we knew is also coming out this fall. I don't think anybody was worried about that.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 is coming out in like a week. Like, it's not saying much,
no
but
way
I say
that's
it's okay.
canceled.
Grounded 2 is coming out in like a month in open beta. That's not saying much. Gears of War Reloaded is scheduled to come out in 2 months. I can't imagine you're getting that close to shipping a game before canceling it. Indiana Jones: The Great Circle DLC, same thing, September. I mean, Clockwork Revolution, that's one that's kind of reassuring that In Exile isn't at risk after we saw that Clockwork Revolution trailer. I think it would be pretty crazy if we saw that Clockwork Revolution trailer and found out In Exile's been, slashed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I'm too surprised there. High on Life is not first party, nor is Dawn Walker. Keeper. I think Keeper is a big one because that is the developer of Psychonauts. What are they called?
Double Fine.
Double Fine, yes. I mean, Double Fine historically makes smaller indie titles or double A titles that don't really maybe sell that well. Like, they're not a big, money maker. They, I would have been afraid, like, if it wasn't for this Keeper announcer, I would have been afraid for them. Renaissance Plague Tale, that's not first party. Elder Scrolls Online, we talked about that studio. Fate Send, Persona 4 Reloaded or Remake, that's not first party. Age of Mythology, DLC. I mean, Invisible Versus, like, otherwise,
there wasn't really that many.
There's not really that many
titles.
first party. There's not really that many first party. So saying that doesn't really, like, it's not that reassuring. The other thing was, we did get news that OD from Kojima is okay, even though, I mean, Kojima wasn't be a first party game, but he'd be getting funding from Microsoft to make that game. They haven't chose to slash that. So that's reassuring. No word on, I think, okay, yeah. So again, that's the news. We could kind of discuss what we feel or what we think. And I'll kind of let you just go on with your, like, thoughts, because I have, like, a lot of things to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just worried that there's more cuts coming. Like, the ones that they announced that were safe are basically coming out in the next few months. And then what's to stop Microsoft from slashing more studios once these games are released, right?
And to what you're saying, based on the history of the last 18 months, this is the 4th round of layoffs in the maybe the last 18 months, 2 years or something like that. So I totally,
Yeah, I think it's coming. Like, I don't think this is done.
yeah, I think it seems like it's just been incremental. Going back to remember the layoffs early last year, the closure of Tango Gameworks, the Hi-Fi Rush studio,
Yeah.
and the closure
Even though
of
that game was like critically acclaimed,
so
they
nothing
have
is
no
safe, right?
problem cutting it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is
Yeah. I just don't know where this is coming from. Like, I thought they had committed to like further expansion of Xbox, and then now they're like basically cutting and burning everything.
I don't think we can know, or maybe we'll ever know where this is coming from, but I can tell you what I've been reading online, what some suggestions are. So there's two things that, game journalists or games media people seem, or even just regular journalists seem to be, pointing to. It is apparently Microsoft has chosen this year. I don't know if this was from an earnings call or what this was. They have decided to invest $80 billion in the next fiscal year in AI development and AI tools. So, like, this is something that goes outside of Xbox and outside of gaming and outside of the games industry. It is that, like, Microsoft from on top, Satya Nadella, or whatever his name, has decided that, like, we're going to invest this much money in this thing. This is a big build to front, $80 billion. They're trying to win the AI race. You got Google working on their AI, you got Apple working on their AI, right? So they're like, we got to get in there and we need to spend this money. But in order to spend this money and keep our
Shareholders
profits
happy.
and our
Yeah.
shareholders happy and our profits the same, what's got to happen? We got to cut. So maybe Perfect Dark wasn't in that bad of a state. Maybe, the coalition wasn't in that, or not the
Yeah.
coalition, sorry, the
But it
initiative.
might have not been far enough in the development.
Yes, so they went
But
to Phil Spencer and they told him, "Hey, bud." They're not just to Phil Spencer. They went to every department, within Microsoft and say, "Hey, guys, we need to cut this much and save this much. Go figure it out." And maybe, Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer and Matt Booty just sat down and looked at their options and said, you know, this is what we got to do. These are the ones, right? They're the furthest out, or they've cost us the most money, or whatever, where they're not sure bets. We don't know where this is going. These are gone. That's one theory. The other theory I've been hearing, it goes back to the Activision Blizzard purchase. And I think there's some evidence to back this up. If you remember, it's very hard to kind of like, because this stuff it's not like binary, it's not black or white. It's almost like there's a feel to it. Go back to like 2018, Phil Spencer, and that's when they started first buying up these studios. But what they were buying up was like smaller stuff. They bought up the Hellblade developers, Ninja Theory, after their successful Hellblade 1. They bought up Double Fine when Double Fine was basically crowdfunding Psychonauts 2. They bought who's the developer of South of Midnight there? That just came out.
Compulsion
Compulsion games. So basically they're like, "Oh man, we need to like diversify our portfolio. It's not just Gears of War, Forza, and what's Halo. We need to like do some different stuff, right?" So that was their first attempt. And then they took it a step next and they picked up Bethesda Games, which I thought was a purchase that really suited kind of Xbox as a brand, Bethesda Games. I don't know why in my mind I might have associated the two, but it seemed like it was a nice purchase. And then basically it sounds like the tables were turned when the Activision Blizzard purchase went through. All of a sudden, and this is how I feel. I don't know if you feel the same way. If you could like kind of like just going back to your memory and the kind of taste and feel and vibe around Xbox, it felt like there was a pre-Activision Blizzard purchase and a post-Activision Blizzard purchase. The pre-Activision Blizzard purchase felt like Phil Spencer had some ability to maneuver and do things as he pleased. And his whole idea was like, we need to expand our first-party portfolio and make Game Pass, more worthwhile. And we're buying these games to make them exclusive, which made perfect sense. And they had a nice kind of bunch of games coming through the pipeline. And then it seems like, and this is also what I'm reading in articles from people online, the Activision Blizzard purchase was, interestingly enough, coincidentally, $80 billion. Similar to what we were talking about for this AI kind of bill.
Okay.
It was a big bill to front. And so because that bill was so big for Activision Blizzard, this went above Phil Spencer. right? The big execs at Microsoft had to get involved. And maybe they're not so familiar with gaming or the feel and the vibe, and it came down to numbers. And this is kind of what seems to have pushed the first round of layoffs. Okay, you got Activision Blizzard. We need to make our money back. We got shareholders. We're not making our money back fast enough. You need to everybody was saying redundancies, redundancies, you know? You don't want two HR managers. Now everybody's under the Microsoft, you know? You could get rid of people who are both doing the same job in two different companies, right? That was the original kind of premise for layoffs. I think at this point, that's not that. I think they're being told we need to make this much money from the gaming division. What makes money? Call of Duty. What doesn't make money? You know, Hi-Fi Rush. Because I think that was kind of the big can of worms that they opened up. Nothing is safe, right? They were told you need to lay people off, you need to cancel some games, you need to shut down some studios. Last year, they looked at their options. They're like, we got some studio that makes mobile games for Bethesda Game Studios. They're not why we bought Bethesda Game Studios. What were they called? The Bulldog something out of Halifax? They're gone. Then they're like, well, we have a support studio with Bethesda. They're not really making games. They're just a support studio for Bethesda. We could shift some people and throw them in there, close the studio, save some money there. Then they went to Arcane Austin. You just shipped Redfall, absolute garbage. By the time you make another game or by the time you sit and work on this thing, it's going to be a few years. And we're being told by Satya Nadella to cut the losses. You're gone. Bye. And then they came to Tango Gameworks. Tango Gameworks, you just released a critically acclaimed game. 10 out of 10. This is what us, Microsoft, have been looking for years. And now you didn't sell enough, and cool, it's a great game, you got nominated for Game of the Year, but you're not selling Call of Duty numbers, and basically we need to make some layoffs, and by the time you guys make your next game, it's going to be forever, and you already lost Shinji Mikami, who's your studio head. Bye, Tango Gameworks. And so that's kind of long-winded story about what the second thing is. It's either it really comes down to we're investing in AI as Microsoft. We need to save some money across all departments, or we invested in Activision Blizzard as Microsoft and bought it for $80 billion. We need to get rid of some other stuff in our gaming division and start making money.
Yeah. I feel like Phil had a really big plan that basically just got shuttered by Microsoft changing course and being like, we can't bankroll this for you anymore.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. But at the same time, how much longer? It's about time he resigns, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think he just made a bad gamble with that big Activision Blizzard purchase.
It's looking like it might be one of the worst things that's happened in gaming ever. And I know everybody was celebrating it because they're like, we're going to get Call of Duty on Game Pass. And me at the time was also like, oh, this is a big move because that's the only way Xbox is going to get back into the hardware race. Yep. They buy Activision Blizzard, they get Call of Duty, they make Call of Duty an exclusive on Xbox, they start selling Xboxes instantly.
Yeah. But then they overpaid for Activision Blizzard. Then they got hit with the antitrust. So they had to commit to being we're not just going to keep it exclusive. And then with the AI race, it seems like now the funding for purchasing Activision Blizzard and maintaining all of their previous studios they bought has just dried up.
Yeah. It's like they were kind of working in the shadows of Microsoft, and the big corporate eyes up there weren't really staring at them. And they're like, yeah, you do your thing. We like you, Phil Spencer. Keep doing it. And then they're like, oh, no, we need to step in now. Did you, I mean, I don't know, either Phil Spencer, it seems like you either die as the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That's the vibe with Phil Spencer. Did you read the absolute horrendous message? It's that he posted.
Yeah. He said that the Xbox has been the strongest it's ever been.
I can read it right now.
Yeah.
Today, we are sharing decisions that will impact colleagues across our organization. To position gaming for enduring success and to allow us to focus on strategic growth areas, we will end or decrease work in certain areas of the business and follow Microsoft's lead in removing layers of management to increase agility and effectiveness. Out of respect for those impacted today, the specifics of today's notifications and any organizational shifts will be shared by your team leaders in the coming days. I recognize that these changes come at a time when we have more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before. Our platform, hardware, and game roadmap has never looked stronger. The success we're seeing currently is based on tough decisions we've made previously. We must make choices now for continued success in future years, and a key part of the strategy is the discipline to prioritize the strongest opportunities. We will protect what is thriving and concentrate efforts on areas with great potential, while delivering on expectations the company has for our business. The focused approach means we can deliver exceptional games and experiences for people for generations to come. Prioritizing our opportunities is essential, but this does not lessen the significance of this moment. Simply put, we would not have been here today without the time, energy, and creativity for those whose roles are impacted. These decisions are not reflection of the talent, creativity, and dedication of the people involved. Our momentum is not accidental. It is a result of years of dedicated effort from our teams. I mean, bro, dude, give me a break. This guy literally, they just laid off 9,100 people, and they just said, hey, we're making bang over buck, hand over fist money. We're successful financially, right? We're not laying you off because we're successful financially. Actually, it's the opposite of that. You got us to be here. You got us here and made us successful financially, right? You guys don't suck at your job. Thank you very much for all the hard work. It's not you, it's us. It's us. We made some bad decisions earlier, and we got to get the numbers to work out. So sorry. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. His whole message is alluding to like the AI thing. Like, we're following in Microsoft's footsteps for their whatever plan.
Dude, this message read, hey, shareholders, we know you just got news that we had to can 9,100 people. Don't worry, we're not canning them because things are going bad and we are losing money and we need to save costs. Actually, things are great, but we're just trying to figure out ways to be more cutthroat so we can make you more money. Holy smokes, dude. What, like, again, I like Phil Spencer, honest to God, if you were genuine about what you were when you picked up this, the CEO position at this company, if like you're really as honest as we thought you were as an exec all these years, buddy, you have enough money to retire. Honest to God, you're like almost 60. I think he's like 58 or something. You're almost 60. You have enough money to retire. You made a good name for yourself at Microsoft, for one of the better CEOs for the longest time. You're just, the last 18 months has just been terrible. And if if it's true and what we feel is actually true, and this is not coming from you, but this is coming from up above, then just be the better man and say, hey guys, I'm sorry. This is not what I want. I failed Xbox fans. We seemingly do not have a make hardware anymore. That's gone. We don't have any exclusives. I'm sorry that we made some bad decisions and we were working in the right trajectory, but we just couldn't get it to work. And the Xbox One terrible generation was too much damage to repair. I'm sorry, guys. Bye. I'm gone. Honest to God, if you did that, we wouldn't hate you as much as this. Like, you're not going to fix this. It's done. I don't know. Like, it's done. What? I mean, I read that and I was like, bro, this is literally pathetic. And then freaking, I'm going to say this, freaking Matt Booty. Like, whatever. I don't even want to read it. I don't want to read it. I know. Here's a freaking, what do you call it? Microsoft Xbox Games Publishing Executive Matt Turnbull. You know what's crazy? He's never going to hear this, but we have a client at my company whose last name is that. Oh, buddy. he's tough. And so this guy, I know, look at this over here. He says, Matt Turnbull says, I know these types of tools engender strong feelings in people, but I'd be remiss in not trying to offer the best advice I can under circumstances. I have been experimenting with ways to use LLM AI tools like ChatGPT or Copilot to help reduce the emotional and cognitive loads that comes with job loss.
Mm-hmm. I saw this as well. At least he didn't say Copilot.
He did say Copilot. No, he said Copilot. He said ChatGPT and Copilot. Yeah. Dude, okay. Jeez. I mean, I think me and you are both on the same page here. I think more is going to come.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think more is going to come. I think within 6 months, we're going to get another round, for sure. My question to you is, I think they've already, by the looks of it, they've already trimmed up what they can from like roles within Xbox, Bethesda, and Activision Blizzard's like gaming divisions where it's not maybe directly involved with gaming, like HR or whatever, marketing and stuff like that. I feel like all those roles that they can axe have already been axed in previous layoffs.
Yeah.
I feel like they've closed a few of the easier to close studios and canceled the easier to close games. And it looks like they've ended some publishing partnerships. Since we both know that these layoffs are coming, it seems like the next round is just going to be like the actual damage might be worse to us gamers. Like, I know the damage is terrible to the people who work, but at the end of the day, let's be honest, like if somebody in HR gets laid off, me as a gamer doesn't have that much effect on me. But when games get like closed or shuttered, or studios get shuttered that I'm interested in, like, you know, that's concerning. So I'm gonna go through a list of their studios under their, you know, Xbox Game Studios label, and then I'll go through the Bethesda division. So honestly, this one, Undead Labs, State of Decay, was acquired in 2018. We have not seen State of Decay 3 yet. It's seemingly been in some type of development hell, even though we saw it in 2024. What do you think? The last State of Decay 2, yeah, State of Decay 2 was 2018.
I think that game may be a little bit safe because they were acquired in 2018. So like they probably have a lot of money invested in probably a pretty decently close game. I'm thinking it might.
That's the same thing as the initiative. It's also got started in 2018. It's been
But they
7
probably
years,
looked at
dude.
these studios and was like, where are we for these? So if they didn't cut this.
Yeah, they didn't cut this, but they obviously looked at, remember, don't tell me Perfect Dark was doing great when they cut it. They gave us that trailer in 2024 to make us think like it was doing great. They didn't choose to cut it in 2024 when they cut Hi-Fi Rush because they had still belief and hope for it. Now when they do another round of layoffs in 2026, that, you know, the threshold is moving up.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they were forced to do layoffs in 2024, the threshold to cancel Perfect Dark and shut down the initiative wasn't there yet. But like now it's there. So like at what point does the threshold come? Because I don't think this is high up. It's not like they're going to cancel a Halo to keep this alive.
I just think that it must be so close if they decided Perfect Dark over this, right? So yeah. I think if anything, it may come out, but then we will see a round of layoffs where it's come out and then they don't need the studio anymore.
Exactly. And based on that note, Ninja Theory, Hellblade came out 2024, took notoriously long to develop because Hellblade 1 was 2017. Didn't come out to crazy critical acclaim. It was good, like critically. I don't know how good it was sales wise.
Yeah, it probably did not sell very well.
I don't think it sold very well. And it's coming out to PS5. So obviously they've been working on that port. They have a game that's announced called Project Morrow that we don't really know anything about, based on their track record for how long it took them to ship a game. And when they were doing that before, the vibe from Microsoft was different. The vibe from Microsoft in 2020, 2021 was like, oh, we don't get involved with these studios. We let their creativity run wild. We're Microsoft. We have a lot of money, right? We don't need to force these people to release something that's half-baked. We want something really good. And then they got like Redfall and stuff like that. So like I you know, they've been beat in the past for like leaving development studios to manage themselves. I don't know, man. Ninja Theory is one that scares me a lot because that is a studio that's very near and dear to my heart. And to think that it barely survived in the Hellblade 1 era and was like a studio of like 15 people and like their freaking video, whatever it was, freaking graphics designer or whatever her role was, became the freaking motion capture and voice actress for Senua and went on to win a Game of the Year award. And then for the studio to be like financially saved by Microsoft in 2018 when they bought them, only for like, you know, them to get shut down, that scares me a lot. In the same limelight, where are they? I'm trying to find them. Compulsion Games, South of Midnight, just came out. Do you think South of Midnight sold very well?
I want to think they did, but realistically, probably not.
Probably not, especially Game Pass day one. I think maybe and no physical. I think it maybe sold better than Hellblade. I don't know.
Is it perhaps a small enough studio where they can leave it alone?
Well, okay, dude. What about Tango Gameworks? That's the problem. The problem is we have We have a piece of evidence from the historical record that says, dude, you're a double A or like a smaller label or pub or developer under Microsoft. You just shipped a killer game that has critical success. It's kind of niche, so maybe it didn't sell so good. Game Pass day one. You're not safe. You could get the chopping block after you ship your game. We're not waiting for you for 5 years to ship another one. Compulsion Games and Ninja Theory sound exactly like Tango Games last year after they, Tango Games released their game in 2023 and ported it to PS5 in 2024 and then literally got shut down. I mean, now they're saved by that's a whole different story, the way they got saved. They still lost half the studio. So I don't know. I just think Compulsion Games and Ninja Theory have Tango Gameworks written all over them. I think the Coalition is safe. That's the Gears of War series. I think Gears of War
that's
will
that's their
eventually
like
come out.
child.
Yeah,
That's
there's no way that's
anywhere.
gonna get Gears of
like
War
that
series.
might get cut, but it might. It's gonna come out.
Yeah,
like E-Day, right?
Yeah, E-Day's coming out,
one.
and then the remake of the first one here in a bit. Halo Studios, I'm sure is safe. They might get job losses internally, but that's it's neither here nor there. In Exile, I think this Clockwork Revolution game is far enough that they have nothing to worry about right now. Mojang Studios, Minecraft, I don't think there's anything to be concerned over there. Obsidian Games, I mean, I don't think Obsidian Games is touchable at this point. This is like, I mean, if you're going to cut Obsidian Games, you just might as well close the studio. This is your equivalent of Insomniac Games for Microsoft.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like their bread and butter. Like Outer Worlds, Grounded is like one of their big titles as well.
Avowed earlier this year.
Yeah.
Playground Games, I think, is safe. Forza Horizon is the safer bet, and they're working on Fable. Rare, we know what happened with Rare right now. Turn 10 Studios with Forza Motorsport, I don't know. I think those rumors might be correct.
Yeah, but they need a Forza to deal with Gran Turismo.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the difference being Horizon being like the fun arcadey one and Motorsport being the serious one. Like, does Turn 10 just get absorbed by Playground Games? Like,
maybe. I could see that easily happening. I mean, they're not. I don't think they're really in their same area. One's in
Redmond, Washington, and the other one's in California. Or no, yeah.
One's in England.
Oh,
yeah. One's in England. Let's Playground Games, and then one is in Washington. And then the World's Edge, which I think is okay. That's the Age of Empires series. But I'm reading this right now, and Undead Labs, State of Decay, Ninja Theory, Hellblade, and then Compulsion Games. I think if they are forced to cut, I think if what we're suspecting is correct, and this is coming from up above, and basically Microsoft up above is like, cut jobs, figure it out. I think those three are in trouble. Let's look at Bethesda Games Studios. So where is the so we got id Software, which just shipped Doom. I think they're okay. Machine Games, that just shipped Indiana Jones. I think that's in the safe spot. You agree? I believe.
Yeah, I believe both of those. I mean, now they're done Indiana Jones, maybe, depending on how well it sold, right? But they made enough for a DLC, right? So
I think it sold okay, especially putting it on PS5. id Software and Machine Games, I think, are okay. Bethesda Softworks itself, you're not going to shut that down. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Fallout and Skyrim. ZeniMax Online, we saw what happened with ZeniMax Online. So that's that. Here's the one I want to bring up. Arcane Leon, the surviving wing of Arcane Studios. Because if you recall, there was an Arcane Austin, which got shut down last year. That is the Prey developer and the Redfall developer. Arcane Studios Leon is currently developing the game that I'm probably anticipating more than anything else. Maybe besides like Marvel's Wolverine. That's Marvel's Blade. I think they're a great developer. I think their problem is their games never sell good. I think historically Dishonored and Dishonored 2 were not the best-selling games. And I'm not sure how well Deathloop sold. So
the numbers for Deathloop?
Yeah.
Have you ever played Deathloop?
I started it. I feel like this, when it came out, everybody was like talking about it.
I loved it. I beat the whole game.
Oh, nice. I've been meaning to play it.
Ooh, the worst performing Arcane game at launch because its box sales were 5.6 lower 5.6% lower than those of Prey. Is
I
sixth best-selling video game in September 2021 in the US, according to NDP Group.
I think Arcane Leon is literally just a tier above Ninja Theory, Compulsion Games, and what was the other one? Undead Labs. I think, and I guess Turn 10. I think those are down there, and the next thing you hit is, I don't want to go into Activision Blizzard too much because we kind of know what they make, but I do want to say that there was a lot of talk amongst the Xbox fanboys when this purchase happened that, oh my god, Phil Spencer is now in charge of Activision Blizzard. uh he is going to revive some, dormant IPs in the Activision Blizzard,
Yeah,
publishing label.
StarCraft.
Yeah, and they said that rightfully so, because what they were witnessing was, the way he managed Xbox and the way he was giving these double A studios and these indie studios the opportunity to, do what they want to do. So people really thought that this guy's going to come and everything's going to, like, we're going to get another prototype, we're going to get more Crash Bandicoot or more Spyro. There was a bunch of, what was that game, Hexen? There was all this talk. I think the purchase of Activision Blizzard, I don't think it's the Phil Spencer is going to have his way. Actually, it looks like it's Activision Blizzard that is influencing the decisions within the whole kind of Microsoft gaming thing. I think you're going to see actually more doubling down on Overwatch and Call of Duty and Diablo.
Yeah, because those are the ones that traditionally made the money, right?
Yeah, I think you're going to see them double down more on the ones that made money. Don't think freaking Raven Studios is going to go back and work on all those IPs that they used to work on before they became a support studio for Call of Duty. Yeah, it is a dark time. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Xbox in general, Derwin? Just the way it's sitting at. Like, I feel like this last 18 months has just been wild, man. This last year and a half, like, it's like one step forward, one step back. Like, we have an episode where, like, oh my god, they're doing so good, and then another episode like, what the hell's going on?
Yep. I agree. I think they've just kind of put themselves in a spot that isn't ideal for their like future growth. I think Phil Spencer had an idea that if it actually was properly realized, would have put Microsoft in a very good spot. But due to the turn of events, it actually has put them in a worse spot than ever. Like, now their hardware is gone. Now they're closing studios left and right. They've basically banked all of their like capital into one like big franchise. Basically,
Yeah.
it's rough to see. I don't know if they'll make it to a next generation.
The trajectory that Phil Spencer seemed to be like trying to push them towards in the start of the year was like, hey guys, we're going to catch up to PlayStation. We bought all these studios in 2018. These are studios that make beloved games. Then we bought Bethesda GameWorks or ZeniMax Studios. So, that looks really good. Like, I felt like Bethesda was a good match.
Yeah, no, I think Bethesda was a very good choice for Microsoft.
And I think this Activision Blizzard thing just killed it all. I think it's just thrown everything out the window. I like, if they were capable of bringing it and making Call of Duty exclusive so that they could push their hardware sales, right?
Yeah.
I thought that would have been great.
Or even a timed exclusive,
A timed exclusive, right? All that happened was they bought Activision Blizzard. It seems like Activision Blizzard is operating exactly the same way. We're not going to get any new IP from Activision Blizzard. Now we just have Call of Duty on Game Pass. And then because of all this cost, now we have all the other Xbox games on every platform. And then Game Pass is also hitting a limit, like, financially.
Yeah, I don't think it's growing.
I don't think so either. I think that's and if it is, it's growing. And every time Xbox says we're getting growth, it's an artificial growth. It's a growth based on microtransactions from Call of Duty. That's all their growth has been the last few years. They keep saying, "Oh, we're hitting great growth." No, you're not, dude. You spent $80 billion to buy this company that makes hand over fist money, and now you're growing. That, like, it's just, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to find the numbers on their growth, but their last growth number was 35 million, and that was June 2025. But then in February 2024, it was 34 million. So they only gained a million in about a year and something.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't know. I think this is really, really the start of the end. I mean, maybe they'll turn this around, but They've decided, they've been forced, they could not in this console generation get more people back into the Xbox, ecosystem. They could not sell more consoles fast enough. And so what they did was they were forced from up above, just put your games everywhere. You put your games everywhere, instantly your sales for your console tank, right? Your sales for your hardware tank. Ever since like 2024, when they start putting everything on everything, we just started hearing that nobody's buying a Series X or S anymore. And I don't know what they were thinking. I really don't know. Your console wasn't selling anyway. You thought it was going to sell because, and they gave up. They're like, oh, we're not selling fast enough. So we're going to lean into this other kind of thing more that's going to make our console sell worse. Who's going to buy the next Xbox? Honest to God. Whatever they make, they're not going to sell it at a loss because they're really not in the hardware division anymore. They're just lying to themselves. Like they're like 1 foot in because they feel like they have a fan base that they have to be honest to. And then they're 1 foot out because they have shareholders that they have to kiss ass to. I mean, just go third-party publisher and just like put everyone out of their misery. You can have, if everything's a PC, you can just have this online subscription services on PCs, and anybody on a PC could play Game Pass, and then anybody on the cloud on their phone or whatever could play Game Pass. But who's buying your console? I want to see what this next console is. There's no way it's even going to be cost effective. Like only the biggest nerds of nerds are going to buy it.
Yeah. I mean, even me, like I bought the Xbox Series X and then I ended up not even keeping it. Like I don't need one.
And I didn't buy an Xbox One because I was like, screw that. But I did buy an Xbox Series X. And it was because of the promise I was seeing. I was like, oh, Game Pass is so freaking cool. It's really picking up. Oh, look at all these games. Every showcase, they're showing us great showcase. Like 2022 was a great showcase. 2021 was a great showcase. 2023, 2024 was the greatest showcase of all time. And it's like, even this last one was okay. And they're like, look at all the games that are coming. We bought these studios that you like. We're going to put this stuff on Game Pass. Look at this Xbox. Really nice piece of hardware. Quick resume. 1 terabyte. Nice. What? Blah, 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 blah. It kept going on. And then, like, the further I get into this console generation, I'm just like, oh my God. Like, this is.
Yeah.
It's like
Like
now
we
I'm
were
going
super
further.
excited like a month ago because these games finally paid off. But then now hearing this news, what's going to be coming out in the next few years then if they're cutting all these studios?
Bro, I don't know. I think it just looks like Microsoft is just going to become Activision Blizzard. Like if you cut all these other games and all these studios, you're just going to be Activision Blizzard, right? You're just going to make COD.
It's the only thing left.
So you bought Activision Blizzard to just become them, to just make COD and Diablo and Overwatch and put them on Game Pass and not sell any hardware and not make any other games. And that's enough money for Microsoft. Really, it's really good money, to be honest with you. So what do they care? What does Satya Nadella care?
Yeah, they're just chasing the AI dream.
Bro, this is not even trickle down economics. Whoever said trickle down economics, maybe that works on like a smaller scale capitalism of mom and pop shops where the owner and then they're like, oh, I appreciate all your hard work. I'm going to give you some of the money I made so that you're loyal to me and stuff like that. This is shit trickling down the freaking. This is shit trickle capitalism. That's all it is. Or piss trickle. Like, it's insane. It's like, oh my God, look at us. We're doing so good. Thanks for all the hard work. We made so much money from you guys. But guess what? We're going to make more money because we're not going to have to pay you anymore. And our shareholders are going to love it. Like, honest to God. Do you blame people for going communist? Do you blame people for going socialist? Like, honestly. Then the other thing too with all these layoffs is, bro, where are all these people going to be in a few years' time?
They're going to leave the industry.
They're going to leave the industry. You're literally just killing like a decade of talent. There's going to be a gap. Eventually, we're going to see the quality of games coming out are going to be worse and worse, and the time they take to make is going to be worse and worse. Then they're just going to replace it with AI anyway.
Yeah, they're just banking AI will learn fast enough so that they can bridge all of this and then not have to pay staff anymore going forward.
Yeah, you
just pay a data center to run all your stuff,
to run your games. My wife has been telling me about this. She recently, at the start of the year, she got really into fan fiction. Okay, she got into Harry Potter fan fiction specifically, and she tells me, like, on fanfics, there's people who write books and release chapters like on a weekly basis or a monthly basis or whatever basis. So it's almost like a manga.
Mm-hmm.
How there's a new chapter coming out. Recently, she was discussing with some girls in her Discord. They're starting to notice and they're starting to suspect that a lot of these authors are writing these this work with AI based on like some grammatical things that are going on and based on some runoff sentences and some reoccurring of the same sentence over and over again and some details. They're starting to notice that a lot of these, like, which I don't know why they're not making any money for it. They can't publish this stuff and make money off of it because it's copyright. That's why
Yeah.
it's fanfic. She's saying people are just like putting ideas through Chat GPT and releasing these episodes or these chapters weekly, and they're starting to notice. Like even the beginning of the book won't be AI, and then they'll get to about like halfway through, and this chapter is like, oh, this
Yeah,
has
yeah,
been
and then
written.
they're just probably putting the next chapter through because they've run out of ideas or they just don't have time, but they want to still keep up with all the fans. And then
Yeah. So she's pissed about it, and then I was like, oh yeah, you should see what's going on. You know, you should see what's going on in the gaming world. But at
yeah,
what point, Derwin, do we get to a stage where my wife can no longer detect that when somebody writes that, and she's like, oh, that's a great piece of work, and it's just been written by AI. And what stage in gaming did they make that AI game, and then me and you don't even bat an eye, and we play it, and we're like game of the year?
yeah, like it is kind
It's
of like
scary,
scary.
man.
Yeah, like some of the AI videos are getting like really good.
Oh yeah.
Like not the not the shit post ones I see
Oh
on Instagram,
yeah, yeah.
but like some of the other ones like are actually getting. You have to take a second look. Like you look at it the first time, you're like, oh what, and then you like look at it again to
Mm,
make sure that it is fake
yeah.
because the first pass is like so legit.
I've been seeing these Iraqi ones on Instagram where it's like a street interview or like a news reporter's talking to someone in the street, and then like they say the most obnoxious, like out of turn like thing, and which I'm like, yo, this is no way this old man in Iraq said this, and it's like an AI video. You know, we'll
Mm,
say some major profanity in the middle of like a news like
yeah,
to a
yeah,
news person, and then like they're all over the internet. Um, Erwin, I don't know. I'm kind of sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of this company. I don't know if you feel the same way.
yeah,
I mean, honestly, Xbox to me at this point is a place where I could play a lot of indie titles on Game Pass that I otherwise wouldn't buy for $25. I'll be honest with you.
yeah. No, I think that's fair.
Claire Obscure being one of them, you know, for example. There's a lot of indie games. This is where I think Xbox is great. On Game Pass, a lot of indie games come out day one, right there. They're for $25 a pop or $30 a pop otherwise. I could play 3, 4, 5 of them in a month, depending on how long they are on that Game Pass service. And I get to try them out or stuff like that. And which where otherwise I would have never bought them or never tried them out. That's all it means to me now at this point.
Yeah. I think if you are looking for like a AAA title, you're going to be looking at Nintendo and PlayStation going forward,
Yeah.
really.
I mean, it seems like that's the case anyway with the sales. I do want to ask you about how you feel about these individual games. Rare, Ever Wild. I mean, does that really do anything for you? We don't
I
really know
don't
what it
I
was.
don't think that one really did anything to
We didn't
me.
know. We didn't even know what it
Perfect
was.
Dark looked kind of cool. I
Yeah.
think that was like the one that I was like most interested in. Crystal Dynamics partnership ending is kind of a little bit sad because that's like the Tomb Raider.
Mm.
I mean, they they had such a wonderful hit, such as like Marvel's
Marvel's
Avengers
Avengers.
as
Yeah.
well. But the main one is like Tomb
Perfect.
Raider.
I think perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if this news came in 2023 or the beginning of 2024, when there were heavy rumors that Perfect Dark was in development hell and half the studio had left and they brought on Crystal Dynamics for, you know, to clean everything up. I think if we got news that the initiative was being shut down and we're canceling the game, I think it would have been an easier pill to swallow because then it would have looked like this is a specific business decision for this specific game that's not going as planned and we're investing too much money in something that's not going to turn out great. Problem is, after all those reports in 2023, 2024, June 2024 comes and in their showcase, they show us that game, Perfect Dark, with actual gameplay clip. And then we were like, and they're like, yo, bro, this game is good. We saved it. We fixed it. And everybody's like, yeah, let's go. Only for them to,
Yeah. Like they shouldn't
cancel it a
like
year
the fact that
later.
they showed something off and
That
like
that's
got
the
us all worked up.
that's the hard pill to swallow. I think they
Hmm.
got us worked up for that, only for it to just go down the road. I mean, Everwild, I don't know. That sounded like it was in development hell anyway. And this ZeniMax game, I'm not really sure what it was. Right, it's tough to be sad about something we don't know exactly what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Xbox, man.
this next Call of Duty might be a little bit rough too. Like, what if it becomes a Battlefield where they have to like
Wait, I'm kind of surprised we don't really know anything about this Call of Duty yet. At this point in time,
Yeah,
we had already seen like hands-on gameplay for Black Ops 6. This one, we just got that stupid
yeah,
trailer.
yeah. We only know that like a lot of the COD studios got job cuts too, and that was it,
It
right?
seems like it was
So
more of the support ones. It
yeah,
wasn't Treyarch or Infinity Ward. It seemed like it
hmm
was specifically Raven and Sledgehammer,
yeah,
which is they're still support studios for a reason because they help get the game across the finish line. So it's going to be harder to
hmm
get it across the finish
especially
line.
yeah, especially if they're doing like yearly releases, like
Yeah,
the quality might slip.
Derwin, we've been talking about Xbox for an hour. Are you down to move on?
Yeah, let's go. We
Let's
got to
get
get
out of
through the
here.
rest of these
Let's get
stories.
out of
We have a
here.
lot.
Let's yeah. Do you want to talk Nintendo or do you want to talk Sony?
Let's do Nintendo. That one's quick.
Nintendo. So let's start with the bad news from Nintendo. We have an announcement that the Nintendo is going to price increase or price hike the Switch in Canada. Now, you heard me correctly. Listen to me closely. They are going to raise prices on the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch accessories and games.
Not the
Not the Nintendo Switch 2. What?
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like
So
this stuff should be on a clearance rack, right?
they're price hiking a console after its successor has come out. I can only think of two things. Either they're like, we don't care about selling this thing anymore, and we don't want to sell it at a loss. So if you buggers still want to try and buy it, even after release the Switch 2, because you don't like the price of Switch 2, I'll suck on this. We're gonna make our money somehow. Or it's to force people to buy the Switch 2 instead of
Yeah.
look at like
Because I think Nintendo has come out saying that they will still be releasing games on the original Switch, and they do have quite a few coming up, right?
Yeah, there's a few that are supposed to be on both, right? Pokemon Z to A,
Yeah,
Metroid Prime 4 is technically supposed to be on both Switch
yeah,
and
because
Switch
that
2.
one was developed for like the original Switch, right?
Yeah, both of those are supposed to be. Now, my question is the games. I'm worried about the games. Should I go and pick up some Nintendo games that I had on my mind before they go up to $90, even though they came out
Like
for $80?
the original Switch
Like
One
Switch
games.
games, yeah.
What did you have in mind?
Well, I
Still,
don't have anything in mind, but I'm just trying to think here. Maybe I should.
maybe you should.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and the big thing was Nintendo Switch Online prices, right?
Yes, the Nintendo Switch Online prices are going up. I did look at the price increase. Actually, it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, it's $5 across the board, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did
your 1
you
month.
did you get your yearly?
I did.
Yeah, yeah, before
Yeah.
that price hike. Yeah,
Yeah. The price hike was I think
July 1st.
August. Was
Was
it
it?
July 1st? Yeah. Oh no, I missed it then. I missed it. That's what I suspected. I bought the subscription
Oh no. New pricing information will be shared on August
August
1st.
1st.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
okay,
if
let me do the math here cuz I
oh
bought the
you
1 year.
messed up and you bought the upgrade pack by itself, right?
No, I didn't do that. Let me check because I bought the 12 month with the expansion pass uh for what I thought was like $70, which meant that I bought the increased price. So when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this is $5 more than I thought it would be." I was like, "Oh, maybe it's just GST." So let me check to see how much I actually charged.
I think
No,
it went up
it
to
was just
74.99.
is yeah, it's just GST. Yeah, no. So
Yeah.
I bought it before the price hike.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently the Switch 2 and the Switch 2 accessories are fine. So
Yeah, I think they're still trying to get more people to purchase, so they don't want to like hike it up quite
no,
yet.
that would not just yet. So yeah, price hikes, those are all coming August 1st. So make sure you get what you want to get before then. We have confirmation from Nintendo that the Donkey Kong Bananza developer is in fact the Super Mario Odyssey developer. That kind of cements my interest in the game, and I think I'm for sure going to pick it up now. I think I don't know when we're
Already
getting to.
pre-ordered, even
Oh
though
yeah,
it wasn't as hyped for you or as
yeah.
hyped as you were.
I should probably go and do that.
Yeah. Or we can share a copy. Either or.
Up to you, but I'm playing that day one, man. I'm going hard on that.
You're going hard on.
We
Yeah,
all. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
we can see. We'll see. I mean, I don't think I'll be as hardcore, but depends on
Okay.
how long the game is. So
Yeah, we'll wait till see what the reviews are like, and then we can make a call there. I think it's going to be a bigger. I think it's going to be a chunkier one, a meatier one, like a Odyssey.
Yeah, it might be a big game. It look like as long as it's
Relatively.
open world, then
Yeah.
if you want to actually 100% it, it might take a very long time, like
Yeah.
Zelda.
Yeah. It'll be a relatively big chunk to swallow. We also got confirmation of the developer of the Nintendo Switch 2 launch game Welcome Tour. And it seems to be ND Cube, best known for work on their Mario Party series, and they've also worked on Switch titles like Everyone 1-2 Switch, Clubhouse Games, 51 Worldwide Classics, and further back they worked on Wii Party, Wii U sequel, and Wii Party U. So they do a lot of these party games. Nintendo is very weird and secretive about what their development studios are. Usually you'll see them in the end credits or something. Or it'll come out that this is the studio that's working on this. We apparently still to this day don't know who is the Princess Peach Showtime developer. We still don't know. So yeah, that is a game which me and you both skipped. Did you hear about this more beef with Amazon USA over this Nintendo products?
No, what is going on
They've
here?
had beef previously where they've not sold their products on Amazon.
Like Nintendo doesn't.
Yeah, but both Nintendo doesn't want to sell on Amazon. Amazon doesn't want their products because they've had beef before. But Nintendo and Amazon USA deny report that Switch 2 products were pulled from sale over issues with third-party sellers. It's now claimed that Nintendo wasn't happy with how Amazon was handling independent sellers. Yeah, they've both declined to say that was the reason, denied that was the reason. So I'm
Yeah, I
sure
mean, we
Bloomberg.
can. When you have a company that wants so much control, and I'm sure Amazon wants so much control too, it makes sense.
Lastly, we got a release date for WWE 2K25 on the Switch 2. We already knew that this was coming. They showed it in their April 1st or April 3rd showcase. And now we got a date for it coming July 23rd. This is another one of those,
The
third-party
Island.
AAA gaming. The Island. Yeah.
If you remember, that was the
So
big
if
selling
if
point.
Derwin, while you play Stellar Blade on a Steam Deck handheld, so you cannot be caught doing something sus, you can now also play WWE 2K24. So when you're playing as what's her name, Rhea Ripley, nobody will see the sus things you're up to when you're in a cage match.
Oh god.
Yeah. So that's it's good news for all you sickos, all you Rhea Ripley fans.
PlayStation news?
PlayStation news, yes. Helldivers. Okay, so I thought this would have been a way bigger news story if it wasn't for the freaking the
Yeah.
bomb of a news story that was these layoffs. Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox Series X and S in August. This year, actually August 26th, which is the same day as the Gears of War Reload is coming out. Interesting enough.
That's funny.
And it is going to be the first Sony published game on the platform. I mean, that's according to Eurogamer. I don't know why they're saying that since MLB The Show has been on PlayStation before, but they're saying MLB The Show is actually published by MLB on Xbox, not by Sony.
Oh, so
So
they have a
Sony
different like publisher
developed, yeah,
technically.
but MLB publishes it on Xbox. So interesting. I don't know why. I know Sony has kind of tinkered with the idea of putting stuff on PC, putting games of a service day and date on PC, like Helldivers itself, and they've been and Marathon is supposed to come to Xbox as well. We already knew this. They said they were gonna take Destiny off Xbox, but maybe they don't see Xbox as a threat anymore.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think they're giving Xbox owners a taste of what PlayStation has to offer
So
come
they
next
could,
generation.
yeah, so they get them to move over.
Yeah, like why? Like they already have so many reasons not to buy an Xbox. So another one would be if the games are just better on a PS5,
Yeah, I
why
don't. Yeah,
bother?
why would you? You got a good taste of this? Come on over. Um, yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Interesting
Yeah.
to put it on the same day as Gears.
Yeah,
It's
crossplay
almost
is available on it, right?
yes. And
Yeah.
the dev says they have no plans of putting it on Game Pass. Although I don't know how that's even up to the dev's decision. It's being published by Sony. Sony would be the one who would choose if that would come to Game Pass or not. Yeah. Interesting, the Gears of War date. Almost, it feels like they're sending a message almost.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're trying to, like, distract or pull away. Even though that Gears game is coming to PlayStation.
Yeah. But the Gears game is just like a remake, right?
Yeah. But it's going to have online multiplayer, which is usually that doesn't happen when you remake a game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this one was interesting. Neil Druckmann is stepping away from The Last of Us TV show to transition complete focus on game development. Now is the right time for him to fully focus on Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. So I know the show's been renewed for season 3, so I don't know what that means for his involvement. Here's the official post from Naughty Dog. To our Naughty Dog community, we want to let you know that studio head Neil Druckmann delivered the following message to our team this morning. I've made the difficult decision to step away from my creative involvement in The Last of Us on HBO. With work completed on season 2 and before any meaningful work starts on season 3, now is the right time for me to transition my complete focus to Naughty Dog and its future projects, including writing, directing our exciting new game, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, along with my responsibilities as studio head and head of creative. Co-creating the show has been a great highlight. It's been an honor to work alongside Craig Mazin to executive produce, direct, and write on the last 2 seasons. I'm deeply thankful for the thoughtful approach and dedication the talented cast and crew took to adapting The Last of Us Part 1 and the continued adaptation of The Last of Us Part 2. Derwin, my friend, your thoughts?
I think it was just time. I think the last season or the season 3 is already more or less like concreted in terms of story.
Mm.
So why do you need him there when you could be working on the next game, right? I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with the season 2 or season 2 being like poorly received. I think it was always going to be poorly received no matter what.
So you're taking a more chill out, guys. This is nothing burger.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
versus
think
me.
it was anything.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it was planned, to be honest.
All the zeitgeist, not the zeitgeist, all the word on the street for this piece of news here is like more like doom and gloom than you. It's like, oh, season 2 was so bad, it was ass.
No,
And
I
they're
think
basically telling him we're not gonna freaking use your stupid story anymore. We're gonna go our own way in season 3. And so he's pissed and he got kicked off the set and he's leaving, or Sony told him to just get back and do your work and stop pissing around.
yeah. No, I think Sony does want him back to doing his work.
Yeah.
But like I think because season 2 I felt like season 2 was supposed to be like a combined with season 3 kind of scenario, like Squid Game season 2 and 3 were, that like him leaving is not anything like mind-boggling. Like the story is already set.
They have
Like
the material. Yeah.
they have the material. Like it hasn't really strayed that much further from the game, so like why do you need him there, you know?
Oh, Derwin, come on, man. Why are you taking the more reasonable explanation? Dude, I thought you were going to be like doom and gloom like me.
Doom and gloom. No, we need a little bit of leveling out here.
Yeah. I guess I should actually finish season 2. I haven't gotten to doing that. It's kind of sitting on the back burner. I just really haven't had the motivation compared to season 1.
Yeah, it is a lot slower pacing, just not as the captivating story as this feel.
And this next news story is extremely interesting, and I want to know what you think. Mark Cerny says PS5 Pro will get its major replacement for the current PSSR upscaler next year. The AMD-powered alternative is coming to Sony's premium console in 2026. This is Jordan Midler from Video Game Chronicles. I'm going to read the last little paragraph. But following launch, some players reported issues with how PSSR upscaling worked on games like Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Silent Hill 2, Alan Wake 2, suggesting they look worse than the base console. So they're going to have an internal refresh of the PS5 Pro where they're going to abandon their in-house AI, resolution, frame rate upscaling.
No, I think this is the next generation of PSSR. So it's probably just like a rebuilt system on how it handles like the AI aspect of.
But they're saying this is coming to 2026 to the PS5 Pro. So my understanding is the next, like at some point in time when you go to the store, it's going to say PS5 Pro on it, but there's going to be like different models. And one of those models is going to be this new AMD partnership chip.
I don't think so.
That's what it sounds like here. It's saying it's a replacement for the current
Drop-in
PSSR upscaler next year. This is not like, what are they gonna? It's not gonna be like another branded version of the PS5 Pro. It's the same PS5 Pro, but they're gonna start shipping them with this technology instead.
Interesting. I don't know. Like, I feel
So
like it could just be a software update. That seems very weird. Unless it's
it
like
seems
some
like it's
sort
a
of
hard.
add-on, because I know that for some laptops, like you can get like a GPU bay, which basically means that you can put like a full-scale GPU on it. So like maybe it's something like that.
So this, you think this is a software update, not a
I
hardware
think it's
update?
more software.
I don't know. I guess I'm not
Yeah.
really that tech savvy, but everything here reads to me that this is a hardware update that we're gonna do, and it's not gonna be as part of like another kind of branded labeled refresh. It's just gonna be the same PS5 Pro, but we're just gonna start shipping them out with these hardware updates. Same way at one point in time, the original PS5, they changed like the heatsink and they made it like smaller, or I think there was some drift on the original, PS5 DualSense controllers, and there's like an internal model, like stuff that you don't know unless you flip the thing to the back and read the serial number and go Google. Like that's what it feels like to me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. Oh, I guess if it's the chip in the PS5 Pro is that an Nvidia chip right now? I forget.
No, it's not. I'm pretty sure it's an AMD. I think only the Switch has an Nvidia chip. Okay. Did you see this new trailer from Where Winds Meet, which is still coming out this year apparently? I don't know when. This is another one of those,
Yeah.
East Asian Souls likes. This, we got confirmation that it was really extended, like cinematic reveal trailer. It wasn't a reveal trailer, obviously, but extended cinematic clip. And we got confirmation that this is actually a PlayStation exclusive at launch, which we didn't know previously. Game looks really beautiful. That cinematic trailer looked really beautiful, but like again, I think we've talked about this 100 times. Like these Black Myth likes, or these Sekiro likes, these Neo likes. There's just so many of them. So we have Wu Chung Fallen Feathers in a couple of weeks here. We'll see how that comes out.
Yeah.
Watch the trailer, man. I thought it was really interesting, and I thought the game looked really good. But again, I don't know if it was in game or pre-rendered.
I'm signing up for the closed beta right now.
Sweet.
I really hope hope they select me, because I think it'll be very interesting to see what's going on here.
Yeah, it looks really cool. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't really high on it before.
I mean, it's not that I'm not high on them. Like, these games all look nice. They look really nice. They just all look the same. Like, something's got to give eventually. Like, I can't just play every single one of these games that are just a different iteration of the same model and be like, oh, this one's an 8.1. This one's an 8.2 out of 10. This one does this thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's just kind of boring to just do that. Yeah. Anyway. We can move on to some third-party multiplat news. So Battlefield 6, which is having its like internal big alpha pre-testing that basically leaks every week, reportedly their leadership wants Battlefield 6 to hit 100 million player target, which would be 3 times more than their bestseller in the series. So they're basically Delulu, because that is like, I think Warzone just recently hit that number. Like insanity, dude. This says, oh, our expectations are too high, and this game is gonna underperform because our expectations are unrealistic already. Even though this game looks really cool from whatever we've seen leaked, I just more executives kind of, like, I don't know what's going on in their mind. But speaking of mind, I don't know what's going in the mind's eye of the mind of the boss of Mind's Eye. So we obviously know Mind's Eye isn't doing very well. But recently the CEO said Mind's Eye will be relaunched, and he blames saboteurs for its terrible release.
Dude,
saboteurs.
He literally said that like before the game even announced.
Yeah, they claim internal and external saboteurs are to blame for the studio's woes. And we already talked about how, because they're in the UK, you have to do the whole thing where you're going to do like legally before you mass lay off people. You have to do like a 40-day thing. Depends on the size of how many people you're laying off. Sounds like they're laying off like half the studio. It's not going great. Derwin, I know this is your game of the year so far, so I'm going to let you talk about it.
Oh my god. including including what he said.
Yeah,
Oh my god. I really don't want to cover this, but this guy is just like on a crazy weird power trip slash like I don't know what he's smoking because if you like remember back a few months ago, he had sat down and was like reassuring everybody that like, you know, everything in this game is perfect. It's going to be top tier, blah, 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 blah. And then it comes out and he's just like, oh, we're sorry that this is happening. Like we're gonna be fixing this like right away. We're gonna be turning this around. I don't know, man. I feel like this studio in general is not gonna make it.
not a chance.
Not a chance. Like he wants to basically he said he wants to revamp the whole game from the ground up, more or less. He wants to cyberpunk this, but this is his first game with a relatively small studio. Like there's no way he's got enough funding to
Cyberpunk.
rebuild this from the ground up. It did not sell well, right? Like I don't know if we have sales numbers for it, but there's
Probably
no
not.
chance this sold
Cyberpunk
well.
sold ridiculous for a broken game at launch. Even after all the reviews came out and said, "Don't buy this thing; it doesn't work." It still
Yeah,
sold like
even
crazy.
after PlayStation stopped the sales on it
It
and offered
was.
refunds, right?
It still sold like crazy.
Yeah, there's no way this game sold anywhere close to it and anywhere able to like financially like build this again basically, right?
Yeah, to recover and bounce it. Like Cyberpunk took like 2-3 years to get to that stage after it launched. So they had the money. They basically said, "We're going to launch this broken thing. We're going to make some money, recoup some revenue, put it back, invest it back in the game, and make it better." Um, Cyberpunk also kind of had an art direction and a game direction and vision and a crazy motion and voice cast with Keanu Reeves and later Idris Alba. And it was from a reputed and well loved, like, freaking studio. Like, this game only has Leslie Benzies behind it. That's the only
Yeah.
thing.
And this is after coming off layoffs, right? So was it he laid off about 300 staff?
Yeah, well,
Was one
the thing
reading.
is, they can't lay them off. They've been given notice that they're going to get laid off, but in the UK, you can't just lay off people on a dime.
Oh, you can't.
No, you
Okay.
can't. So
Oh my god.
depending on how many people you want to lay off in your company, there are different policies. Like if you're laying off 10 people, there's a certain thing you have to do. If you're laying off 50, if you're laying off 100 and more, there's a certain thing you have to do. And we know by like inferring what has been released internally to the people that work at the company is that they're planning to lay off like half the studio because basically the governing body that's responsible for this basically said you have to give them this much time and we have to look at like alternatives what you could do for them. So based on the time frame that they're forcing him or they're forcing like build a rocket boy, we know that they're like laying off 100 people, 150 people maybe,
Yeah.
at least
It
in the
says that
UK.
it sold decently well in the UK, but I mean,
How much are we talking? Decently
let's
well to
see.
recoup costs of development, decently well to keep
Appears
developing
to be
on it.
selling relatively well, at least in the UK, according to Push Square. It was the fourth best-selling physical game in the UK of the week that it was announced or that it was released.
I'm kind of interested by that. That's surprising.
Yeah, it doesn't give any hard numbers, which I'm not surprised. Mind's
So
Eye makes surprising debut in sales report. Let's see. Push Square. So this was this was who was reporting on it. Does it give any numbers? No, no numbers. It debuted fourth with Mario Kart being first.
oh,
And then EA Sports FC 25 and then Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy
Hogwarts
interesting.
Hogwarts Legacy still sells like crazy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy how Warner Brothers like literally made the best freaking game that they're ever gonna make, and then just proceeded to like
Yeah.
destroy their company.
But this is for physical like
Yeah, we don't know all the
sales. We
digital
don't
information,
know.
but we can only correlate. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Again, I just don't think it sold well enough.
yeah, to keep development into. I mean, they're gonna lay people off. I don't know how he's gonna turn this around. You're laying people off. So this is a report taken from IGN. Barb sources told IGN that Benzi's Barb is in Build a Rocket Boy. Finally addressed staff following the release of Mind's Eye in a brief video call yesterday, July 2nd. According to two people present who asked not to be named in order to protect their careers, Benzies insisted Build a Rocket Boy would bounce back and relaunch Mind's Eye, blaming the studio and game struggles on internal and external saboteurs, among other things. I love that word, saboteurs.
Like I just still don't know how they would have sabotaged this game. Like I literally do not understand how.
He's
Like were they part of your team and then they decided to code more garbage into your game than they would have?
who's trying to like who are you competition for that they want to sabotage your game, really? Who was so worried about this? Trust
GTA
me, bro.
GTA 6, bro.
Rockstar was not worried about this.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Have you seen the character that you can play as free roam
No, but you told me about it.
on Mind's Eye? It's some like weird ass like here, let me show you this. How do I show this tab? Give me 1 second.
What the hell is that?
This is the default playable character
Can't drink
in
guns?
Mind's Eye.
Who chose that?
I
It's a
have
wild
no
choice,
idea.
bro. It's a wild choice.
It's so dumb.
Anyways, Mind's Eye, man. Speaking of games that or studios that aren't doing very well, Outriders 2 was one of the People Can Fly 2 canceled projects. This is a news story from like a week or two ago. I didn't really add it to the show notes at the time, but I saw it. It was People Can Fly were canceling 2 games internally, and we didn't really know what they were. But now we have confirmation it was Outriders 2. Unfortunately, did you play Outriders when it came out?
No, I didn't.
2021. Yeah. I tried it for a little bit. I think I played the open beta. It was fun playing with some friends, but it never really gravitated enough with me for me to like pick it up. I heard it was a really decent game, but you know, didn't have that splash and bang to keep people intrigued. And then also we have confirmation that Dying Light 2 studio Techland has canceled 2 in development games. We don't know what those games are, but those are gone. We do have confirmation that no staff have actually been affected by these cancellations. So these layoffs were not followed, or the cancellation was not followed by layoffs. This is from Video Games Chronicle. There isn't much sway held by past success. Baldur's Gate 3 actors reveal it hasn't boosted their careers. This is posted by Chris Scullion. Third-party casting studios don't engage in their culture as much as film and TV, it's claimed. What do you think about this article? That the fact that you're a voice actor on Baldur's Gate 3, one of the best-selling, critically acclaimed games of that year, and it doesn't seem to, have an effect on the jobs you get going down the road. I'm not really sure I agree with this 100% because I feel like we've seen exceptions to the case. Most notably Ben Starr. He's cast in Final Fantasy 16. Everybody loves his voice. Next thing you know, you see Ben Starr as much as Troy Baker everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it might be
no,
true. And then Jennifer English too. I feel like we see Jennifer English everywhere ever since Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I just feel like just sometimes you're just hot. Like it doesn't really matter like what you're in.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people just like your voice and then you're suddenly like thrusted upwards, right?
And you're in every role. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like Hollywood. Like I remember Chris Pratt like years ago in like Parks and Rec. He was like a nobody, and then like they really liked his look, and then suddenly he's in like Guardians of the Galaxy, Jurassic World.
Suddenly
like
he's an Italian plumber from New York.
Yeah, right. Like sometimes you just need that one breakout role. Like Ken Jeong is another example. Like he started off in Community and then jumped to The Hangover, and then now he's just like your typical like crazy Asian guy that you star.
Yeah.
Right?
It's crazy finding out where these people were originally from. Yeah. Interesting. Resident Evil strategy game will be revealed next week from the Kingdom Hearts co-creator. This game it's going to be a mobile game called Resident Evil Survival Unit. I will report back when we see what this game is. I do not have any high hopes for a mobile strategy game. What I do have high hopes for, Derwin, is something you sent me a trailer for, and I am very excited for.
Oh, yeah.
Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Yes, this just dropped today.
Yes, yeah.
It's like a nothing teaser, but
yeah, it was like clips from the first season. And they're saying this is in production.
Yeah, and then they tease some of the new characters, but they're all like just blacked out, like silhouettes, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's just like in production. So I'm excited. I don't
I'm
think it has
excited.
anything to do with the first one. I think it's just going to be like a
No,
new set of characters.
I mean, without spoiling, the plot in the first one is pretty conclusive. So it would be very hard to, say it has anything to do with the first one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to this. You know how much I love Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah. So 2K Sports is teasing a college basketball game a day after EA Sports did
Okay.
online. So EA Sports drops a tweet, uh, and then freaking someone was like, 2K should be making the college basketball game. And NBA 2K was like, the campus has been quiet for too long, with like a side eye look. But it was like a reply to a tweet from from EA, who used to make the NBA Live like series, but they kind of don't really make basketball games anymore. I feel like in sports simulators, everyone's kind of picked their lane, and like now they have monopolies on specific sports. Like everybody plays MLB The Show. No one's playing the freaking Konami game from Japan. No. EA doesn't even make an NBA game anymore. It's the 2K game. That's the only one that exists. L is an EA game. 2K does not make NHL 2K anymore like they used to. That game series does not exist. Or Gretzky Hockey or any of the other ones. FIFA killed PES. Now, what does Konami call it? eFootball or something like that.
Don't even know.
So yeah, it's interesting to see some like the only football game is the Madden, right? It's interesting to see some competition kind of being resparked by these two companies. See where they go. It almost feels like they're like price fixing, and they're just kind of like, "Hey, you guys make the FIFA game, we won't."
Yeah, and then everybody will buy this, and then I get to make this one, and then
yeah,
I don't know. I've never played a whole bunch of these sports games. I think the only one that I've really ever played is like NHL.
I used to play a lot of sports sims when I was a kid, a lot. And then I kind of like played them all, and I'm like, okay, I don't need to buy this every year.
Yeah, it literally doesn't change year to year.
Yeah. Ubisoft, of course, Ubisoft. We love Ubisoft. 3 former Ubisoft executives received suspended prison sentences at a harassment trial. I'm not gonna go into this too much, but dude, these guys were unhinged, bro. These guys were unhinged. Where was the freaking article that I read?
Oh,
Anyway.
is it the same one? Is that you have linked? Yeah.
Listen, this is one of the guys was accused of lewd behavior, posting intrusive questions of a sexual nature and racist comments and behavior. He was alleged to have asked a Muslim employee if she supported the Islamic State, which is ISIS, and to have been responsible for her PC desktop image being replaced with photos of bacon sandwiches and food being placed on her desk during a Ramadan fast. What the hell, bro?
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's 3 of these guys. They were like,
dude, this is you didn't even read this one. With alleged behavior, including the watching of porn in an open plan office.
Oh my god!
Commenting on the appearance of female staff, regular public humiliation, and hazing,
attempted sexual assault,
where he tried to kiss a young employee during a Christmas party as she was being held by other colleagues.
Yeah, so these guys might as well throw their names out there. Serge Hassolier, I don't know how to pronounce that. Thomas Francois and Goulam Patru. I don't know how to pronounce French. Why am I? Yeah.
Patru? I don't know.
There's like more to this. There's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, violent and intimidating behavior. He has received a 12-month suspended prison sentence and a fine of 10,000 euros.
These sound like 3 unhinged freaking people.
Jeez, no wonder.
Yeah.
But then I don't know how they make such woke games.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
Weird.
Like, here, look at this. We're inclusive, but not in our office.
Yeah. Let me just hold down someone while you try and kiss them. That's wild.
Yeah.
This like almost reminds me of like the situation. Was it at Blizzard?
Blizzard was unhinged. Yeah. It wasn't Jason Schreier's book where he like did an expose on the whole place.
Yeah, it was also like just a crazy place to be working.
Yeah, that place was nuts. Last little news story here. Anthem servers to be shut down in January. Goodbye, Anthem. Rest in piss. This is, of course, the legendary game from BioWare, which seemed to be the start of the end. Maybe you could go back to Mass Effect Andromeda. But yeah, this game is being shut down, taken offline January. Me and Derwin will play it before then, and we'll give it a 2026 review.
Oh my god. I'm
Oh my
not
god,
excited.
that was a lot of news stories to go through, but it was mostly that Xbox stuff.
Mm-hmm. Big stuff.
Listen, man, I'm gonna leave it up to you. Do you really want to talk about what you've been playing? I'm okay with cutting this short. I have some games that I've been playing. I can leave them to next week. They're not that bad.
I've literally played nothing but Digimon, and I've only played like an hour on top of what I played last time. So I've got nothing.
Okay, I mean, I played a little bit of Rematch, uh, which was the soccer game from Slow Clap, that new soccer arena game that looks like freaking,
Like super vibrant and
yeah, it looks like Rocket League but actual soccer. I played a little bit of that. I played a demo for this game that just came out a week ago called Antro indie game. I played a indie game called Grizzly Man on Steam Deck, which is I saw on one of the indie showcases at the Summer Games Fest. I played Buckshot Roulette, which is a game I saw in a State of Play earlier this year, which I forgot was already on Steam, so I tried that for a little bit. And I have ran credits on Elden Ring Night Rain as of last night.
oh, nice.
Yeah. So I got a few things to talk about. We'll leave until next week. That's okay. Hopefully we don't have this much.
Yeah, we
news.
don't have crazy news. I mean, next week is what?
It is
not the release of Bonanza, so we'll have lots of time.
Next week, Friday. I think the biggest release is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I think comes out on Friday. Yeah, comes on July 11th. Is that a Friday? Pretty sure it's a Friday.
Yeah, I think so. Patapon 1 and 2.
Patapon 1 and 2, which looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. I did look at it on the Bandai Namco showcase, which we did not discuss on this show because literally they showed nothing. It was not worth watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the only big ones.
Yeah, those are two big ones, and then Bonanza's the week after that. Plus that Pac-Man game. I wonder what's that's gonna be like.
I don't know. You think it'll be any good?
I don't know. It could be Metroid Dread. It could be garbage. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of the Slow Run Cast. If you like what you hear, please leave a like on wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. And please leave us comments, recommendations for how we could change things, make things better. Leave us a review on Spotify. It means a lot to us. Giving us that 5 stars if we are worth the 5 stars, of course. And don't forget the Slow Run Cast everywhere you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and we're on Instagram with the Slow Run Cast as well. So take care, guys, and don't get laid off by Microsoft. Out.
Too late. You're cut.
Too late. You're cut. Satya Nadella needs another $4 million for this year. $70 million was not enough.
All right.
Jeez.
See you guys.
See you guys.